because of we already know. But you know, in the way that we're explaining it right now, the way that you're breaking it down, then yeah, I get it. But I agree and I still somewhat disagree. I feel like Drake has another gear. Error, yeah, sure. But Drake
that's the question I want to get into. Now that I think is the question.
He has another gear. What does that mean? Like he doesn't have another like run where he can be arguably artist of the year, drop album of the year. You know what I'm saying? Be the guy that's number one records all over radio and nominations and all that shit like that. Is that the gear that we're?
Okay, let me ask a question, and y'all feel free to comment. Y'all feel free to comment too, because I think it's a legitimate question. I think it's a legitimate question, but I don't think it's a bad question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Drake has another gear? Now, hear me out here. I'm going to use Jay-Z for an example first. Jay-Z comes out. He gives you. Let's look at the first three. Jay-Z gives you Reasonable Doubt. He gives you In My Lifetime. He gives you Hard Knock. He gives you Hard Knock Life. Right? Hard Knock Life is when he starts to now I'm about to blow up. And I've talked about how people lie about being Jay-Z fans when he first came out. I'm one of the few people that had Dead Presidents, the single. I'm one of the few people that was already up on Jay-Z before he had to re-release Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1 when Volume 2 came out. All right. But then you go to the next stage of Jay-Z. Like the Volume 3, that MTV era, the Dynasty. And then you have Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And many would consider Blueprint to be Jay-Z's best album, either that or Reasonable Doubt, depending on the day you at. That's second level Jay-Z to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start getting the third level Jay-Z when it comes to the next step. And then you got 444. Now, Jay-Z is 50. Now, 51. But he seemed to grow each year. Does Drake will give you number ones. Yeah, he's going to give you number ones. Then they're guaranteed that as soon as he dropped the first single off of Certified Lover Boy, it'll be the number one song in the country that week.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about we talking about gears here. Drake has never had an album that you would that anybody would be here and be like, yo, album of the year. Like album, not rap album, but album of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that Drake has another gear?
I think he do. I think he does. And I think he still has more to prove. I think he's still, that Pusha T shit is probably still on his mind. It's there. People don't think I can rap. Still. All right. Let me get in the studio. I think Drake is the master at playing chess, Joe, and getting in the studio and just giving the people what they claim he ain't doing. I think that's Drake is it's kind of like a whole thing. But at a time when Jay had his gears going, he was dropping every year. Drake kind of had a similar thing going, but Jay stopped that. Jay stopped dropping every year. But I think with Jay stopped dropping every year. With Drake, that gear, when he dropped now, it's man, something to prove still, bro. We still haven't got the end of the Pusha T shit, B. I think the Pusha T shit still is sitting nice and well on them. And that's just gonna prove to niggas bro, I'm with this rapping shit, bro. I think that's one thing that Drake still needs to really get to, fam, is, man, I'm with this rapping shit. Y'all niggas need to understand that this is where I'm at with it. I'm with this rapping shit, bro, and I get big.
I don't know if he has another gear, G.
So are we not talking when you say gear, we don't
wait, matter of fact, let me fix what I said. Let me fix what I said, because I don't want to be on my Young Thug shit and talk too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think Drake has another gear. Do he want to push it?
Okay.
Is the question.
Okay.
I think a lot of rap. I think for all Drake's successes, I think Drake has gotten comfortable with giving you those social media quotes in the song, so to speak. Getting you something to quote, get you something to talk about, to put in an Instagram caption, and all of that stuff.
That's what we love. That's what we love.
That's so I think he caters to an audience. He knows how he's gonna get that number one. He gonna get it, put it in a bag, boom. It's almost like James Harden. I'm not saying that he's James Harden of this era, but it's almost like James Harden.
He knows the formula to be the MVP of the league.
He knows all it takes for me is to score 8 points in a quarter for 4 quarters, and I'm gonna be straight.
So scoring 8 points in a quarter, that's just doing enough to be relevant. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So what you saying is Drake don't have enough to actually
not doing enough to be relevant. Doing enough to get y'all talking, to get y'all listening, to get those number ones. I think, in my opinion, Drake has not went in to make that album where he say, yo, this is gonna be the album of the year. I don't think he's done that yet. I don't think he's done that yet. And I think he can. It's just, does he want to? And I don't know if he wants to do it. But I think for music heads and for people that had that conversation, I truly believe that that's what they want from him. And that's they knock.
That's what I want from him.
I think that's that knock on Buddy. Like, if you were to look at the top 5 albums of all time and you look how talented Drake is, you would expect him to have something that can reach that level. Like, does Drake has an It's Dark and Hell Is Hot? Does Drake have a Blueprint? Does Drake has an Illmatic, or to what some of y'all talk about, Stillmatic? Does Drake has a When Disaster Strikes? Like, does Drake have any of those? I'm not saying that he don't. I'm just asking. What Drake album is? Don't just put an album up there just to say, well, if I had to pick, it would be. No. If you were to say that this album is Mount Rushmore, one of the greatest, we talking about blah, 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 put that shit in the Library of Congress, all that shit. What Drake album is that?
Drake got 2, bro. He got 2 classics, arguably. 2.
See,
take care.
You can't
take care.
You can't even use the word arguably, because part of that arguably is fan shit. I'm talking about set in stone. Ain't nobody arguing if Blueprint is a classic, G.
All right. If you argue that, he has no. You're right there. He don't have argument. He don't have. I don't think he has. You know what? You're right. Drake don't have a solidified.
I'm talking about pushing the culture. He got songs.
Yeah,
he got songs like that, but I'm talking about a full body of work.
Yeah, he doesn't have a full body of work that people would just automatically, instantly say, "Boom, that's the one. That's his Reasonable Doubt. That's his Illmatic." But you have the arguable albums, which I think he has 2. That's Take Care and Nothing Was the Same. I think when people argue Drake's best albums, classic albums, I think they bring up those 2 the most. But does he have that one? Like you said, he has songs, he has moments, features, classic, everything. But does Drake actually have that one solidified album that you could possibly go back and remember and put like in that category of top rap albums ever? I don't know. Probably not.